Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're taking on just Kurt in a VGC battle. If you guys enjoy the content, of course, leave a like and subscribe for more. Links down below to Twitter and Discord where you could support the channel, as well as to check out Kurt. Kurt's a decent battler, and I'm really glad to see that he's trying to get into doubles this gen. I know he did a single doubles draft league last generation, but obviously, Draft League is very different from the actual VGC ladder, especially with just how meta trends go, so really excited to see Kurt trying out VGC this generation in a more broad perspective. So the team we're bringing today is actually going to be similar to last time, but there are a few different tweaks around the mons that are the focal point. Instead of Fluttermane, we do have a couple other things we're building around. So with that said, let's get into it. The first mon, of course, is another Eruption Torkoal. I did build around Lilycole again, spoilers. Well, I didn't build around it, but Clutch did. Obviously, it's one of the best cores you can really bring right now at VGC, in my personal opinion, with Torkoal being an enabler to a lot of the past Paradox mons. So basically, if you're bringing a past Paradox mon, it's kind of a throw to not bring Torkoal, especially when Torkoal also does now give your team a Trick Room option, as well as Weather Sport with Lilligant, which is pretty decent just in general with allowing Torkoal to sweep. So we do have Protect, Eruption, Heat Wave, and Earth Power. The set basically is the same. Either we have a Trick Room mode, or we have fast Torkoal with After You Lilligant. Speaking of course, again, we have fast After You Lilligant with Sleep Powder, Leaf Storm, Protect, and After You. Same set as last time when we fought Kelly. Again, just the intention here is really to Sleep Powder teams or to After You for Torkoal to Eruption teams, especially with Terra of Fire on Torkoal. We're able to absolutely massacre people. We're Max Speed Lilligant just that way then Torkoal can go as fast as possible. It's really the biggest thing here, as well as to fire off Sleep Powders as fast as possible. But basically the goal is, again, just for this to be a really good support piece here. This time though, from here the team devolves into something different. We did bring Psy Spam this time. Now I will say the Psy Spam is a little bit worse this gen because of the loss of Expanding Force, which is honestly a huge benefit to teams with Hatterene and Indeedee, which were able to really destroy a lot of the competitive metagame. However, Indeedee is still pretty decent with stuff like Follow Me and Helping Hand in its arsenal, as well as Psychic, and Psychic Terrain is still really good at blocking priority attacks that would be incoming on us, so I'm not too concerned with this, and I still think Indeedee is pretty viable in this team actually, as Indeedee is a really good fighting killer, which we'll be getting into a bit later on. While Indeedee itself is neutral to fighting though, it does make Hatterene a lot more terrifying, which is an actual legitimate fighting offensive check. With Trick Room, Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, and Protect, this mon is basically meant to be our Trick Room setter as well as a really good offensive piece, handling stuff such as fighting types and dragon types, which will be pretty valuable, especially the fighting type aspect, which will be important mostly for our win con this game, which is fairly fighting weak. So I'm definitely going to benefit off of this if nothing else. Hatterene in general also just has very few switch-ins, since Psychic and Fairy is an absolutely destructive offensive typing, and especially with the Psychic Terrain that Indeedee will provide, this does stop Pokemon from going for moves such as Shadow Sneak and Priority, which would otherwise be a strong way to revenge off Hatterene, so I'll definitely take it. We do have up next our Slitherwing with the Clear Amulet. We have Protect, First Impression, Lunge, and Close Combat. Outside of Terrain at the very least, First Impression should be a great way against offensive Psychic types, especially on the more frail aspect, so we'll definitely take this. It's also great for revenging off Pokemon such as Chien-Pao. Again, just like in singles, Chien-Pao is a pretty detrimental option considering the attack the defense drop that this Pokemon does provide, so having a strong option to revenge that will be very valuable. But again, this is still a pretty decent option in general for opposing Darks, Psychics, whatever, as well as Close Combat being a great way around Steel types, or even just, again, potential Dark types. This is really just meant to be a Dark type killer, and there's a lot of really viable Darks right now, to where, especially in the Sun, this Pokemon is absolutely obnoxious. The Clear Amulet basically means that you can't actually clear this Pokemon's stat changes, which is really decent in my opinion, especially in a metagame where we see so many times Pokemon that run Intimidate. It's one of the most really important abilities you can run. So when this prevents other Pokemon from lowering your stat changes, that's honestly really incredible in my opinion. Finally though, we do have Iron Treads with Assault Vest. This is in my opinion probably one of, if not the biggest win cons in the team besides maybe Slitherwing. With the AV here, we're meant to just be a really good tank. We have moves such as Stomping Tantrum and Rock Slide, which already provide us with amazing coverage, with Knockoff and Heavy Slam as well. Now the way I see it, this team has two different important modes. The first is Torkoal, which is probably going to be a really strong option to destroy just most teams, and in tandem with Iron Treads, you're able to clear past a lot of different checks to just in general a lot of Pokemon in this team. For example, Steels that are going to threaten Psy Spam, or you could potentially take out well, no, I'm mixing up the type resistance. The point being though is you could definitely use this Pokemon just as a really good breaker for a lot of options that can help the Psy Spam end, or Psy Spam can also clear the fighting checks for this, or I could just win off a Torkoal, because Torkoal is just really fucking broken. So with that said though, let's get right into the game against Kurt. Until then, peace out guys. Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're taking on Kurpie in a best of 3 doubles battle. Kurt saw our first doubles game when we took on Kelly and asked if we could do some doubles against him. So honestly, I'm really glad to see that just anyone else is trying doubles this gen. I will say, Kurt did challenge me to same items allowed in doubles, so I'm not sure if he's using an outright VGC team, but regardless, it is still doubles, so I will take that. His team consists of Dragapult, Iron Bundle, Screamtail. I so wish I brought my Screamtail Perish Trap team for another video. Let's see, Annihilate, Sylveon, and Torkoal. Today we're bringing our Slitherwing Psy Spam team. This should hopefully end up doing well against Kurt. To be honest, his team is actually pretty Psy Spam weak, so it's looking like this will be decent. This should definitely be decent. Truthfully, I think Treads will actually be the big carry here. And speaking of, I think I'm going to lead off with Psy Spam for sure. And then I'm going to bring Torkoal in the back because Kurt's fire switching his Torkoal. And then I'm going to bring Iron Treads because Iron Treads should help for that pesky, the pesky Screamtail. So, oh shit. I just realized Kurt challenged me to 6v6 doubles. Oh no, I'm going to re-intro the video. I'm going to have to re-intro the video. Oh no. Well, hold on. Maybe Kurt just chose the wrong rule set. That might have been it. If Kurt chose the wrong rule set, so be it. But if Kurt brought 6 Vons, then yeah, no, we'll have to. No. Please tell me you didn't bring 6. Please tell me you didn't bring 6. Come on. God damn it, Kurt. I should have double checked this to be fair. He did literally just say doubles when he challenged me. Oh, thank God. Okay, so he's just an idiot and chose the wrong rule set. Kurt, I love you, but he chose the wrong rules. There's a whole rule set specifically for this actually. But okay, I'll take this. We see the Pult lead and we see the Iron Bundle lead. So this is pretty interesting actually. Out of curiosity, I do need to make sure. I'm pretty sure Iron Bundle gets Helping Hand. So that should be interesting. Booster energy. Okay, that's good to know. And it looks like speed was heightened. Okay. Boost energy. Okay. So this is, if nothing else, good information for the long term of this. Because this tells us basically a lot about Kurt's team. For one, it seems like it's very fast. My guess is that Kurt is probably going to go for some sort of... I don't know, he's probably going to go for some sort of like really hyper offensive team. From here, I'm going to go for Follow Me. I want to basically try and redirect any sort of attacks that Dragapult might be going for. Because I think this will probably be like a Terra Ghost set. And that Kurt's probably going to be trying to break with that. That would probably be, if I was looking at Kurt's team, that seems like the best idea is Ghost Spam with Annihilate and Dragapult, both of which would probably be Terra Ghost, though Annihilate maybe Terra Fighting to be fair. And then stuff like Sylveon and Trick Room, as well as Torkoal and Trick Room for just opposing archetypes. Kurt's gonna go for Icy Wind here. I don't think he knows he's playing Trick Room, which is very weird, but I'll take it for sure. He's probably gonna then go for, yep, Ghost type move. This is fine. I will say, I know that at least Ally Switch fails in succession. I'm wondering if Follow Me will as well. It won't matter a ton, to be honest, because I just need to get off the... Actually, I'm going to go for Protect. No. That move breaks Protect anyway. I could go right into Iron Treads, to be honest, but I don't know if I really want to. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a Psychic on the Bundle, and I'm going to go for a Follow Me one more time on Indeedee. And then from there, I'm just going to start going for just Psychic type moves. Sadly, we don't have Expanding Forces gen, which is a little annoying. Kind of hoping it's a DLC move at some point, because it was such a great option for this sort of team. But to be fair, despite not having the dual target, these two basically can dual target on their own and should still do a ton of damage against Kurt. So I'm not as concerned, but it could have definitely been better, I guess. Regardless, we're going to see that Delibird... What's Delibird actually going to go for? Well, the Bundle. Okay, well, Bundle actually just died. So I'll take this. No more Icy Wind user, I guess, in case the Trick Room goes away. We are going to see the Phantom Force go off from Kurt's Dragapult. Does not affect Indeedee, which is beautiful. This should be pretty decent. I'm kind of curious. Kurt might just have to pick a whole different build next time, to be honest. At least as far as like a team composition goes. Since if he didn't bring Torkoal, my team's pretty fine. And even still, Torkoal's only bad if he has Earth Power. If he went for Solar Beam's coverage instead, then I'm set. Or if he's like choice specs, that's also pretty good for me. Regardless though, I'm going to go for the Psychic here, and I'm going to try and take out the Dragapult. And I'm going to go for a Psychic as well on the Dragapult, not the Dragapult, the Torkoal. Both of them are going to get targeted. Truthfully, I think that Hatterene will probably end up dying this turn, but I'm not too against this. My goal is just to weaken future eruptions, which should be pretty decent if nothing else. And I'm assuming that Kurt might think I'm dual target. Well, not dual targeting, redirecting again, because it's kind of been what I've been doing all game. So he might just go for eruption and then think that he's cleared, and can go for whatever he wants with Bolt, which I'm fine with. He's actually going to switch out here, revealing his last mon to be... It's going to be... Oh, right. His whole team is in Japanese names. Okay. So he brings Screamtail as his last mon. So this should be obnoxious to KO if nothing else, but I'm not too against this since Kurt at the very least would have to redirect a hit for this to not matter. He's probably going to be Terra Fire, which I'm really okay with actually. Yep, Terra Fire Torkoal. That's perfect for me. This shouldn't be too big of a deal. I forgot. I just realized I took off Iron Bundle from here. We do see as well that Kurt's not... Huh. Okay, so Kurt's not Trick Room Speed. Interesting for a Torkoal to not be Trick Room Speed, but I will definitely take it. To be fair, I will say Kurt does have a lot of other redirection, and the team isn't really built around Trick Room either. At least not at face value. It seems like it has a lot of different modes. So I wouldn't be too shocked, I guess, if Kurt didn't bring Trick Room Speed. Just feels weird to see, I guess. And I will say as well, I don't know how much doubles Kurt's done. I know he's done like a single doubles draft league, and that's about it. So maybe Kurt just isn't aware that Torkoal should be running that slow speed in this. Maybe. I'd honestly buy it. But regardless, still, you gotta start somewhere. So no shame in Kurt for not running a minus speed one for sure. We're going to, regardless, just go for the Psychic. I just need to take out Bolt, to be honest. If this is Sash, we can figure that out as well. It is not Focus Sash. It's good information. So I think we have this one. And honestly, should be pretty easy for us. This should basically take like no damage. But I don't entirely mind. This is gonna kind of just start going in damage-wise. And we're gonna click Dazzling Gleam. And I'm going to click the Helping Hand, just because that's probably going to be our best way of actually damaging Kurt. Battle's canceled, understandable. Kurt probably didn't want to give up information, which makes a lot of sense. That Screamtail especially could be very terrifying for us. So not giving up information on that is probably in Kurt's best interest, especially when my sets are fairly telegraphed on lead. So yeah, I'll take this. Nice game one for us. We're going to go into game two, and I think in all honesty, I lose nothing leading off with the same team. But I don't know if I want to, solely for the fact that I kind of want to change it up and show some other mons. But I think that it's probably advantageous to go for the same lead. So I think I'm going to do it. I could go with Lilycole, to be fair. Lilycole wouldn't be bad either against Kurt's team. Because I could, in theory, go for Lilycole, go for After You, and then go for Eruption with a Terrifier Torkoal. And that would also kind of massacre Kurt. So I think I might actually do that, just for some variety, if nothing else. I'm still going to bring Iron Treads in the back for sure. And seeing that Kurt did not bring the Sylveon last time, or the Annihilate, I could actually bring Slitherwing. Sylveon will probably come this time around as a little more SPF of an option, but even still, I think I'm fine with this, because I'll have Iron Treads in tandem. So I think this is my play. I think this is what I'm going to go with. I'm going to bench the Side Spam, because I think Kurt will truthfully also try and over-prep around it this time around. But a lot of different options, to be fair. Kurt obviously does have Loser's Advantage, which obviously, I mean, he did only see our lead, to be fair, but it's still something that he can hard tailor around, so I do need to keep that in mind. I will say as well that with our Slitherwing plus Iron Treads core, we should be able to do a ton of damage to Kurt. I can't really actually see a world where Kurt's team in general switches well around this, because his team is actually so ground weak, and while we don't have Earthquake or Headlong as strong options, Stomping Tantrum should still do sufficient damage here in my opinion. But it'll be interesting to see how Kurt comes back from this, because, I mean, lead was pretty bad for him last time, and I think that Kurt's kind of realizing how heavy of a Trick Room team this is, so I'm hoping that leading off with the Sun might try and take him out a bit. But we'll have to see when we get into the match, of course. There's a lot that can happen, especially with Kurt's team having so many variables. But yeah, good luck and fun to Kurt, though. I'm hoping for another fun game. We'll have to see. I think if I had to predict a 6, if I had to predict a 2, I think that it's going to be Annihilate and probably Dragapult the lead and just try and go spam his way through. We're going to see the Annihilate and Dragapult. Okay, so I called it right. My guess is that, as I said, this is probably Terra Fighting then, if he's leading it with Pult. And if I had to pick, well, let's see. So I think seeing this lead instead, actually, no bundle, I think that it's in my best interest. I'm still going to click Corruption, but I'm not going to Terra this. I'm going to Terra Treads later on, I think, actually. And I'm going to go for After You on the Torkoal, so then I can get up the fastest eruption possible. And this should just be a really good offensive piece. Realistically, Kurt won't have actual counterplay to this unless he goes for like a Terra Water set on Annihilate, which would be kind of cool. I know it's actually been running around singles a bit right now as a really good defensive piece to try and get some good Rage Fist boosting in. So if Kurt ended up going for that sort of set, that'd be pretty clever, and it'd be really good at tanking my Eruption. But otherwise, I think that Kurt's just going to have 2 Mons that are going to take way too much damage from this Torkoal Eruption, which even without specs should absolutely massacre Kurt. So I'm not too concerned about this. Despite also having a resisted dragon there, again, I'm not too concerned about not popping my Terra Fire here. Won't kill Pult, but it'll probably kill Annihilate. It didn't actually kill Annihilate, but I wonder if that's AV. Or maybe it's just really bulky. To be fair, this thing is actually a fairly bulky Pokemon. Gungshot Miss kind of sucks, but to be fair, Dragon Notes should still pick this off anyway. So, oh right, because that redirects, unless if it's a smart target. Okay, so I guess that kind of matters then. We're going to go for Heat Wave here regardless. I think this should still take out everything. It's still going to hit harder probably than I'm going to hit with... it's still probably going to be a stronger attack than Eruption would be. If Kurt protects with Annihilate here, then I think he will be able to take out Lilligant and get my Torkoal weak enough. But I'm not too concerned with this because, I mean, Kurt's team doesn't really... I don't know. I feel like I should be fine. I think I'll be fine. Also, I think realistically his team's going to kind of struggle with taking on Iron Treads because it's just hitting me now that Annihilate is, if it's not Scarf, it's actually going to really struggle with killing Iron Treads, which it's probably, as far as an offensive piece goes, his best one to break it. So I'll definitely take this. Kurt ends up sacking Annihilate at the very least, and probably Pult as well. Yeah, okay, so Pult's also gone. So it's 2 Mons gone right there, both the Ghost types. That was Kurt's best options around a lot of things. Like Annihilate was a decent breaker, for example, for well, depending on the set, to be fair. It actually probably wasn't good for Iron Treads now I'm saying it out loud, because I'm just going on about how it probably didn't outpace. I don't know. Maybe Kurt's going to bring Trick Room of his own with Screamtail. I could see that, actually. We do see the Screamtail, yep, okay. So it's going to be, if nothing else, a very obnoxious Pokemon to KO. What I think I'm going to do, especially with this gaining a Spadef boost, I'm going to go for a Heat Wave here. I don't mind not... Yeah, and I'm going to go for Sleep Powder, because I would much rather put the Torkoal to sleep here than just try and get some good chip on this before it goes for Eruptions and the Screamtail gets to trick him off. Especially since this is probably going to be Kurt's Terramon, and he will probably click Terra Boosted Heat Wave or Eruption here with some sort of support move from the Screamtail, whether it's Trick Room, Perish Song, even, whatever he clicks. Well, actually, no, probably not Perish Song. Kurt wouldn't click Perish Song when he's down 2-4. Regardless, Kurt will probably click some sort of support move in Screamtail into Terra Fire on Torkoal, and this should be a really good way to break through my team if nothing else. Screamtail as well, just in general, will be able to get some very obnoxious hits off. Sleep Powder avoids, unfortunate, is what it is. I could have, to be fair, clicked after you into Earth Power here, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Kind of shocked that KO'd, but, well, actually, no, I lie. We're not that bulky, Torkoal. I'm not too shocked. Screamtail is going to go for Trick Room. Okay, so we do see the Trick Room go off. Perfectly fine. I'm not too against this, actually. In terms of what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go for... So, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in Iron Treads here, because I can go for Terra Ground on this, and since we are AV, I should be fine in terms of taking hits, especially once we lose our weakness. So I'm going to Terrestrial Ground into Torkoal slot, and I'm going to go for a Sleep Powder on the Torkoal, because I need to take that Mon out. Kurt's probably going to go for Heat Wave here, or maybe Eruption even, since he is now the fastest Pokemon on the field, and he took no damage last turn, which would be great for Kurt. Obviously, it's going to clear Lilligant, which means my Sleep Powder is a little useless, but at the same time, Kurt going for a spread move here would probably be my best interest, because it would be able to weaken Kurt's general damage output, versus him, let's say, clicking some sort of Fire Blast or an Overheat this turn, which would absolutely massacre my Iron Treads, at least on paper before a Terra Ground. Kurt's instead just going to go for a Flamethrower here, and it's going to take out the Lilligant. That's actually probably the best thing that could have happened for me, I'll be honest. Because with Kurt going for the Flamethrower here, I'm now able to get a solo target off on the Torkoal. And despite the Reflect going up, I'm not too against this. I'm still a fairly offensive Pokemon, and this should still get off some significant damage on the Torkoal. So we're going to see that just takes it out. Beautiful. It's a crit. Okay, that's a little unfortunate, I can't lie. But to be fair, when I bring in Slitherwing next turn, I was going to protect that anyway and then go for Stomping Tantrum. So Kurt could have, to be fair, played around this. It wouldn't have been too hard. But I think it definitely, he would have needed to basically call that I was clicking Protect with Slitherwing instead of like a first impression here to try and get around priority potentially. So he could have done that. There's a lot of things he could have done, but I don't know. I think, to be fair, there's also merit for Kurt having just potentially, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that could have happened there, to be fair. It's too many variables with that crit, and I think that Kurt could have done stuff around it, just it ended up not getting to, is all. It's really all that happened. But regardless, we're going to go for Heavy Slam here. This should get off some good damage. And then, yeah, at this point, it's basically Kurt just picking which mon he wants to take out. Because since he didn't click Wish this turn, and even if he did, he's just kind of waiting through Protect turns. This should basically just, and even with the Spit F fading, I mean, it doesn't really matter because he's Spit F. But it's basically just Kurt ended up in a checkpoint position, well, a checkmate position, I should say. Because he needs to take a lunge into a Heavy Slam here. So I think he just has outright nothing for this. So this should be game at this point. I can't see a world where Kurt wins this. Unless for some reason he gets some like ultra mega crit or something. With like Dazzling Gleam would have been the move. And even still, I think that Iron Treads took this anyway. So regardless though, a solid game 2 to Kurt. Thankfully this one was a lot closer. I know that obviously I didn't lead off a side spam again, which I to be fair, I could have. But it was still, I think regardless, in my best interest to try and change up the lead. Because Kurt could have very easily overprepped around it. But very good game to Kurt. Really solid best of 3. Really will take this. Kurt, shout out to Clutch for the team as always. Clutch builds all the doubles teams on the channel if you don't know. Maybe I'll have an occasional Randy build or an occasional Bird builder for someone else. But 90% of these doubles teams you're going to see on the channel are probably from Clutch. So shout out to Clutch as always. The Clutch doesn't have anything to plug otherwise, but I want to give credit where due. Really fun team regardless. Link to that as well as a runner code will be down below. If you guys enjoy this and you want to see more content like this, leave a like on the video and subscribe. Shout out to our channel members, of course, being Josh K, Ultra Player, Mia, and Zeke0. Your support is greatly appreciated on all the vids on this channel. It allows me to do things like pay the builders such as Clutch, who provide such amazing teams. So if you enjoy the content, you want to give a little bit extra to the channel and help support the people who make the content more accessible for you guys and help provide teams quicker, leave a like and join the channel membership, or even just subscribing and watching through the ads, of course, helps a lot. We'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out, guys.